a new tomorrow.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the respected dignitaries, dignified speakers, colleagues, and all the participants of this conference present here from all around the globe. Welcome to this ISDGC 2021 organized by one and only the II University. I am Ansegul, moderator for today's event. Well, to start this event, we pray to Lord Ganesh to make this event a great success, and we ask for his blessings so that not only this event, but we all accomplish our goals in our respective lives. So let's learn together, gather our strengths together, and let's pray together. Can we play the video, please? What a fire start to the event it was. I want to express my gratitude to have been given the opportunity to moderate this event and be a part of this historic ISDG conference. With this, I want to introduce one dignified personality with whom I will be obliged to share this stage, our coordinator for the day, Dr. Prachi Gaur, Country Director and President, Training and Development India, the IIU, founder and CEO, Remarkable Education Private Limited, a new mother, entrepreneur, career counselor, educationist, public speaker, coach, brand planner, social activist, creative think tank, artist, leader, art curator, certified pilot, tarot card reader, and much more. She is a successful businesswoman with the merit of identifying significant incremental revenue stream opportunity via conceptualizing ingenious and niche business ideas. She is an effective promoter of ideas and concepts at various crowdfunding and platforms which are aimed to empowering women in business. A master's degree in visual communication with specialization in branding from the Birmingham City University, UK, a certified career counselor from the University of California, Los Angeles, USA, and a green belt in global career counseling certification with distinction from Univerity Singapore. Ms. Gaur has completed her doctorate in green branding. Ms. Gaur is a state president, Rajasthan Elementary Education Council for Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, WICCI. Not only this, but she has also been recognized and awarded by many national and international institutions for her work. A very warm welcome, ma'am. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sehgal, for the wonderful introduction. Sorry, I would say Dr. Sehgal. Thanks a ton. Firstly, I want to welcome our committee members, trustee of IIU, co-founders of IIU, and our highly experienced speakers here. And finally, our loving audience and all the participants who have been participating since last couple of days in this ISDG event. We all now know about IIU, but do you know who all are actually working religiously behind to make this vision and mission of bringing this new era of education? So let me take the stage to introduce the core committee of IIU with you all. Leadership, yes. Ms. Mona Angya from Indonesia, she's our co-founder. Dr. Satna from United Kingdom, co-founder and vice president, Honorary Degree Council. Mr. Piyush Pandit, co-founder, chief operating officer from India. Nabil, co-founder, Northeast Africa, and Stephen from Australia, he's also a co-founder. Our Presidential Council, Ms. Pratibha Mishra, President, International Advisory Council of IIU University, India. Dr. Satna, Vice President, Honorary Degree Council from UK. Dr. Shelly Bhutani, President, Council of Foreign Affairs from India. Mr. Pandit, co-founder from India, and Jack Williams as well from France. Our Advisory Council, Mrs. Roshni Lal, a lifetime trustee of SBP Global and social activist, member of Australian Medical Board, and also the trustee of the IIU University. Dr. Pareen Somani, independent academic scholar from UK. Dr. Shali Mukherjee, Director of Education and Dean, Student Affairs and Administration University from India. Pratibha Mishra, President, International Advisory Council of India. Indrajit Ghosh, Social Studies teacher from India. Mr. Arup K. Mukherjee, from Group of Schools from Imphal, India. And Dr. Shankar Goenka, Chief Architect and Managing Director, India. Also, Dr. Vijay Kumar Shah, Country Head, also on the advisory board of IIU from India. And Dr. Shashi Kumar, also from India. With this huge board, yes, definitely, we all are rocking behind. And you know what? I would like to ask you all today, how are you all actually feeling with this? And don't you feel excited? Don't you feel energetic? because we all are getting to learn, to share, to grow. I'm very excited in myself, to be honest. And with the same enthusiasm, I would like to talk a bit about the II University. Yes, International Internship University is building a better and brighter future for all young learners and committed to provide better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. Definitely. II University is metamorphosing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional cost and providing access to more than 10,000 courses and internships to their e-learners and across 195 countries and 6 continents throughout the year with over 150 offices around the globe. Yes, International Internship University is united in our commitment to provide exclusively free education to all the children and to the youth of this world under this global hub. IIU has been accredited and affiliated with the World Education Organization and collaborated with all the world's top universities and educational institutions as well through the platform of massive open online courses. Yes, the one, MOOC technology. IIU is providing various certificates, diploma, graduation, post-graduation diplomas, post-graduation courses, and honorary doctorates as well. IIU has received many accreditations and as per international standards for their innovations, vision, creative ideas, research, white paper publication, and as well as national patents. So it has number of areas, number of platforms, and that's how we all are here to connect with the II University, which is one of its kind, first ever virtual university among all of us. And the reason here we all are collaborating, connecting today, yes, SDGs. So I want to throw some light on them. Sustainable development goals, yes. Development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Thus, IIU actually invited all the interested stakeholders, innovative SDG leaders, schools, colleges, universities, and organizations, government and non-government organizations as well, for goal-wise deliverables. And today, we will be witnessing the plethora of ideas, knowledge, and delivered in 5 different languages by 500 plus experienced speakers here, change makers, and will become a part of this historic conference showcasing the SDG goals aligned with the 5 pillars. By the end, I'm very sure that we all will have many new competencies and tactics that we can put into action right away. Yes. One such conference, and indeed a boon to our society, is given by the collaborative efforts of the co-founder of IIU. Yes, definitely, one and only name among all of us, Mr. Piyush Pandit. And now, actually, because this is the time to give a big round of applause, for which reason we all are here and connected on this big reason to bring the bigger change with the help of ISDG conference. Definitely. So without wasting time, now the motive we all are actually gathered here for, our keynote speakers. Yes, I would like to give the stage before. I would like to introduce our speaker, the first speaker of the day, Dr. Surya Bano from India. She's MPhil, CS, MSc IT, MA English Literature, PGDSC, BSc, and ABID in Urdu. Assistant Professor in Computer Science from Bhilai Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Bhilai Nagar, Chhattisgarh. She's also working as Assistant Professor in Computer Science since 29 years and working as social activist, individual and associated with 51 international and national societies as International Peace Ambassador, Global India, and also an Education Ambassador. A big round of applause for you, dear. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for a nice introduction. Good evening, one and all. Today my topic is SDGs quality education, SDGs for quality education. No country can really develop unless its citizens are educated. कोई भी देश वास्तव में तब तक विकसित नहीं हो सकता जब तक उसके नागरिक शिक्षित ना हो. Education is the most powerful weapon which can use to change the world. शिक्षा सबसे शक्तिशाली हथियार है जो दुनिया को बदलने के लिए उपयोग कर सकते हैं. This nice line said by the Nelson Mandela. SDG for quality education. These goals ensure that all girls and boys complete free primary and secondary schooling by 2030. It's also aims to provide equal access to affordable vocational training to eliminate gender and wealth disparities and achieve universal access to a quality higher education. By 2030, substantially increase the supply of qualified teachers, including through international cooperation for teacher training. Developed countries and
Suryaman, you need to unmute yourself, please.
okay.
Yeah.
Sustainable Development Goals. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are considered in the context of learning, resources, and capacity building. SDGs are often known as transferring our world. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development as a set of 17 global goals were adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030 SDGs with 169 targets between them. Then the question arises, what does SDGs stand for? The SDGs 4 is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all and has 7 targets and 3 means of implementation. Number 1, universal primary and secondary education. By 2030, ensure that all girls and boys complete free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education, leading to relevant and effective learning outcomes. Number 2, early childhood development and universal pre-primary education. By 2030, ensure that all girls and boys have access to quality early childhood development, care, and pre-primary education so that they are ready for primary education. Number 3, equal success to technical, vocational, and higher education. By 2030, ensure equal access for all women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational, and tutorial education, including university. Number 4, relevant skills for decent work. By 2030, substantially increase the number of youth and adults who have relevant skills, including technical and vocational skills for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. Number 5, gender equality and inclusion. By 2030, eliminate gender disparities in education. Number 6, universal youth literacy. By 2030, ensure that all youth and a substantial proportion of elders, both men and women, achieve literacy and numeracy. Number 7, education for sustainable development and global citizenship. By 2030, ensure that all learners acquire to knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and non-violence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity and of culture's contribution to sustainable development. Means of implementation are three. Number one, effective learning environments. This target address the need for adequate physical infrastructure and safe, inclusive environments that nurture learning for all, regardless of background or disability status. Number two is scholarship, where developed countries offer scholarship to students from developing countries. These should be structured to build the capacity of developing country, while the importance of scholarship is recognized. Donor countries are encouraged to increase other forms of support to education. Number four is teachers and educators. By 2030, substantially increase the supply of qualified teachers, including through international cooperation for teacher training in developing countries, especially least developed countries and small island developing states. A nice line said by Charles Rangiri, a quality education grants us the ability to fight the war on ignorance and poverty. एक गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा हमें अज्ञानता और गरीबी के खिलाफ लड़ने की क्षमता प्रदान करती है. The benefits of quality education: learners can acquire more understanding and knowledge through the best education practices. This can help them in becoming in different situations that they are find themselves either outside or within the school. Offering learners a dynamic approach can help them in achieving great results. Means the importance of SDGs 4 is education is human right and a force for sustainable development and peace. Every goal in the 230 agenda requires education to empower people with the knowledge, skill, values to live in dignity, build their lives, and contribute to their society. And question arises how we can achieve quality education. Access to quality teachers, use of quality learning tool and professional development, and the establishment of safe and supportive quality learning environments. These are the key pillars that support quality education. A nice line said by Ron Lewis, ensuring quality higher education is one of the most important things we can do for फ्यूचर जनरेशन. गुणवत्तापूर्ण उच्च शिक्षा सुनिश्चित करना सबसे उन महत्वपूर्ण चीजों में से है जो हम अपने आने वाली पीढ़ियों को दे सकते हैं. The example of quality education is in all countries, however, quality content should include several priority areas. These include literacy, numeracy, life skill, and peace education, as well as science and social studies. Literacy, or the ability to read and write, is often considered one of the primary goals of formal education. Our Prime Minister, Honorable His Excellency Sri Narendra Modi ji said, education makes life self-relevant. It inspires men to live with dignity in this society. शिक्षा जीवन को आत्मनिर्भर बनाती है या मनुष्य को समाज में सम्मान के साथ जीने के लिए प्रेरित करता है. Once we decide we have to do something, we can go miles ahead. एक बार जब हम तय कर लेते हैं कि हमें कुछ करना है तो हम मीलों आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. And he also said, if seeds of good humanity and good cultures are sown, the reward of a rich harvest can be reaped by the generation to come. Education means such solving, such implementing. Then the main difference between the equity and equality is the term equality refers to equal opportunity, equal access, equal treatment, equal resources and opportunity. Equal sharing and division, that is equality means each individual or group of people is given the same resources and same opportunities, whereas equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. That the terms equity refers to fairness and justice. In education, the terms equity and equality assess that every student should have the same access to a high quality education regardless of where they come from. But equity recognizes that different students need different resources to achieve the same goal. That means the importance of equality is everyone is considered to be equal and treated the same way. Last, I want to share a nice line. Equality is not just the right thing to do, it's a smart economics. How can an economy achieve full potential if it is ignores, sidelines, or fails to invest in half its population? It is said by Robert Joly. Thank you a lot for giving me such a beautiful opportunity on a beautiful moment. I want to convey my best regard to Dr. Piyush Pandit and all of you honorables. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much, Suraya Bano ma'am, for the wonderful insights related to SDG in education. Definitely, equality and inequality in education is a very, very important role. Well, before we move further, yes, it's important because we have a lot of speakers today with their insights. So I would request you all to please be on limited time duration and try to give your valuable inputs in that valuable time because it's important for all of us and all the speakers so that they all will be able to share and so that we all will be making the best out of it at the end of the day. Well, with this, moving further, I will be introducing our second speaker of the day, Ms. Fatima Sogra. Yes, she's also from India. MSc in Chemistry, MA in English Literature, B.Ed, HDCA, Vice Principal and founder of RK Foundation, AHPS Principal, founder and Director of RK Innovation. With a lot of awards as well in her kitty, with Humsain Award Mentor of this year finalist 2021, Indian Humanitarian Award of 2022 by GTEF, Director of IDYMF at Chhattisgarh, State President of SR Consultancy, Global Ambassador of Dr. Kalam India, member of UN Volunteers as well. She has received Nalanda, the Pride of Knowledge Award 2021 by IDYMF. Outstanding contribution towards creating sustainable difference in the society, which received certificates of appreciation by GAIIM. Yes, Zero Investment Innovation Idea Teacher Innovation Award by ZIIEI. A very, very warm welcome, ma'am. The stage is all yours.
Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. Firstly, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Piyush Pandit sir and all organizers to giving me such opportunity to speak at front of you all. I'm pleased to speak on the topic of quality education. To ensure quality education, we all have to take action. SDG 4, Sustainable Development Goal 4, aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all by 2030. Achieve universal for all. primary education, and what can do we to achieve that sustainable development goal 4? We all have to take effort. And in India, if I talk about in India, education is differed by money. Sustainability increases the supply of qualified teachers, including through international cooperation for teacher training and developing countries. What makes a quality education? Firstly, find a perfect area. Right of a school needs to learn. People meet in different ways. These are the visual, work, physical, and the place what can be utilized. Small schools can sometimes they don't have a proper fundings. That's why that time they are unable to give the proper utilizers and sufficient placement for the education. And it is very important for any school, and it plays important role in the field of education. Education plays a very important role in one's life, in yours life, in my life. It helps us to be a successful and to be a better person in our locality, in our country, as well as education improves our knowledge, skills, confidence level, and personality. It empowers us in the intellectually and helps us to deal with problem. In today's competitive world, you can see many examples. Good education has become a necessity. Higher education helps in getting a good job and position. Education also prepares people for the different life experience and challenges. It helps people to have a special status in society. Moreover, education polishes our mind, nurture our mind, and strengthens our character in society. Education helps us to take right decisions. It is the key of success in personal as well as in professional life. It makes us smart enough to handle tough situation and live happy life. A person having a good education become a good citizen. Listen my last line very carefully. A person having a good education becomes good citizen to the country. A country can progress well if its citizen will be very well educated. And lastly, I would like to say, this is my personal quotes for everybody: helping hands are better than praying lips. Thank you so much to listen me. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much, Bea Fatima, with the wonderful lines and quotes, giving energy to all the educators here today. Thank you so much. With our next speaker for the day, yes, Dr. Preeti Ojha, again, from India. She is PhD in Computer Science, Principal, Delhi International School, and is a leader, passionate facilitator, co-learner, and teacher and coach. She has an experience of 19 years in school profile. She has received many awards for different categories, and one of those is Most Progressive Principal in National Convention of Education Leaders, and also Most Promising Principal by Global Leaders Foundation. She has recently been recognized as the LinkedIn Spotlight 2019 as well. She is the management committee member of Mira Model School, honorary advisor for CPAA India as well. Executive member of Private School Principal Association, recently been a CDEX speaker, awarded as the most innovative leader from 2021 by Education Excellence Conclave, supported by Ministry of Ayush and Fit India movement. Also received the Maharana Pratap Bravery Award by Oxford EduServe. A very, very warm welcome, ma'am. The stage is all yours. All people are actually waiting for you to hear from. Please.
Thank you so much for that wonderful invitation. And I want to say a big thank you to the organizers of IIU to welcome me on this platform to speak a few words. Now, whenever I look at the SDG, I always look at it as something that we need to really work upon. And why education has come as a number 4 agenda. Because as rightly spoken by the two speakers before me, that's the only one thing through which a country can be weakened. That's the only one thing that if you don't do with children and the citizens of our country, you wouldn't be able to make a stronger nation. Being in the education, I've seen the entire process in three agendas. One is the student on which we actually work. We make sure the children in the future come up with the right education, and the parents and the teachers. When I look at all the three, I feel that first we need to provide them the grounds of receiving the education in the best form. What are the things that we require? We require the best resources for our children. Do you think in India that we have the resources same all over all the schools? No, it's not there. So that is what we want to look forward for. Resources includes also the teachers. How well trained are our teachers to the scope to which we can reach out to children? Children are supposed to be made aware about all the information going around globally. Locally, a child is educated with literacy. But what in case you want to collaborate with different countries? Your awareness to do with language, your awareness to do with your own culture, your awareness to compare it with others' culture, your thought to empathize with each and every culture. You're making a collaboration at a very young age by understanding the weather around the countries, trying to understand why do we have a food which has so many kinds of spices, why the countries outside India have lesser spices, what's the kind of farming do they do, why don't we do the same thing, why do we need to be dependent on another country? There are limitations around it. So we all need to collaborate in a way that we are able to connect and share those resources. We are supposed to make our children from the very young age understand the need of sustainability. There are so many resources which are getting deplenished, and I'm sure in future most of the children wouldn't be able to see that if we don't take the right step now. The maximum youth now coming in the next generation will be looking forward how to sustain them. The major agenda is to begin with sustaining, and when you sustain, you need to let the child know that they need to be physically, mentally, emotionally healthy. Once they are absolutely taking care of themselves, only then they would be able to handle the various issues around themselves, the city, the town, the country, and globally. I feel that the children in schools should be educated with all kinds of information, where they should be sharing their resources through the help of various mediums, trying to exchange teacher training, trying to have teachers coming globally from different countries, our teachers visiting different countries, children getting all kinds of exposure, and letting them know that what are the food habits, what is the weather around, what is the kind of agriculture, what exactly do you need to sustain in your own country after 2030? Why UN has kept 2030 as the strategy to make sure that sustainability goals are attained? That is all because this is the time, that is the less time we have to secure those resources. Looking forward and letting you all know that this generation has to be educated with why and how to sustain, than only looking forward by creating resources for them. So this is, I would like to let you all know as an education since 19 years, that there has been a lot of focus on literacy. I want the children to get into various other kinds of education, which will only come through the orientation of the parents. It will only come to the other stakeholders of the education system. And for that, we all need to work together. Maybe a parent, maybe a teacher, maybe a student, maybe a vendor. We all need to come together to bring that equality, bring education with skills, to bring various kinds of information to children in the school, allow them to travel. And these things will help us to get into different kinds of plans for children. Children always get and fail into decision making of what profile or what kind of a job they need to get into, because they are only educated with one kind of a profile. I would request all the stakeholders around us to please look into plan A, plan B, and plan C for our children, and allow them to understand the comparison and shelf life of each profile, and which will only start from the very primary stage in the education. Children need time to understand and decide, where parents, teachers, and the students and the peers will help them to decide it. And such programs coming up will definitely help children to realize there is so much in the future that we want them to look in the present, so that they can grab energy and ability to sustain. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And to the entire audience, I would like to give the virtual clap, to be honest, and with the beautiful insights, what you have actually shared with all of us. Yes, definitely, 100%. As we all say, every child or every single individual is unique in themselves. And with that uniqueness, when we all collaborate, when we all connect with all the resources, we will be coming up with the best. And our children, the upcoming generation, the youth of the nation will be having a better understanding when they'll be choosing and selecting their own areas. So very, very well said, ma'am. Thank you so much. Moving further with the next speaker of our day. Yes, Ambassador Cynthia. I'm so sorry if I spell your name wrong, but yeah, Ogbenula Scheme from Nigeria. He is MA Linguistics and Communication Studies, Honorary Education Ambassador from Team Nigeria, Dar Communication PLC, Abuja FCT. He's also a TV presenter and producer with Dar Communication PLC, a content creator, creative writer, published author of 2 books, a humanitarian, a mother, and a wife, having undertaken 2 leadership positions in our local NGOs as a National Secretary and National Vice President. Ms. Cynthia served humanity by promoting language and culture in schools, home, and in the minds of every indigenous native speaker of any language. Ms. Cynthia is passionate about the welfare of children, sacrificing their educational opportunities for street hawking just to help ends meet for their families. Yes, she actually distributes kids and the threats they pose for themselves and their immediate families have always been her major concern, actually, both home and abroad. This might be a global concern, as she says, but 3 actual world countries demand their immediate attention, as per her words. A very, very warm welcome, ma'am. The stage is all yours. Ms. Cynthia. Ms. Cynthia, are you there? But we'll give her some time. Probably she may join later. So we'll move to the next speaker of our day, Dr. Pratiksha Dikshit from India again. She's PhD in education, MA in education, MSc, diploma in Sanskrit, Prabhakar, and Visharad in Hindustani music, etc. And also Principal Springfield's diploma in Sanskrit, Prabhakar, and Visharad in Indian classical vocal and light music, respectively. She's accomplished the International Certified Career Coach program. She has number of achievements. Few are as follows: Rashtriya Shiksha Ratna Award from CED and Humanitarian Award from 2020 by CED. Guru Upanishad Samman by CWSIR, Shaurya Samman, Best Principal of the Year 2021 by Global GRKQ, Speakers for SKEDUX Award of Honor. She has numerous memberships and associations as well. So she's also a zonal director from CEIR, lifetime member of Executive Council of GTE, national coordinator of CED Foundation, National Secretary and State Secretary of the Pradesh chapter of CEAM, Council of Education Administrative Management, executive member of ENO, Environment Online ASAC, and that's also from India. A very, very warm welcome, ma'am. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind invitation. Good evening, namaskar, abhinandanam, assalamu alaikum to all the eminent educationists and honored scholars from Pratiksha Dikshit, Principal Springfields. My gratitude to the organizers of IIU for providing me an opportunity to this show of soaring competence, glow of vibrating academicians, the creation of knowledge, the festival of learning, where we are to discuss about quality education. So Albert Einstein said, I never teach my students, I only provide the conditions in which they can learn. So how to correlate this development with quality education? When an all-round development takes place, number one, in terms of learners' holistic development, the development of in terms of, we can say, mentors having quality ability to transfer of learning, development in the procedures and planning, development in physical and psychological learning environment, then we can say that goal of quality education has been achieved. So what are the factors which are responsible to achieve this target? They are, number one, physical resources, equipment, materials, supplies, and facilities and infrastructure and all. Second is financial resources, and financial resources means, of course, funds. And the third and most important is human resource, including teachers, support staff, students, parents, and all the associated community members. And out of these three factors, teachers are the human resource, the connecting link between the students and the physical and the financial resources. The other two resources are useless if the teachers are not aware and sensitive towards their duties, despite the efforts made by the governments. Teachers need to be sensitized towards the benchmark set for achieving the quality education. And as such, a good teacher, qualified teacher, sensitive teacher can bring in the system of quality education. How? By adapting and adopting the positive changes in 4 areas. Again, I will discuss these 4 areas in brief. These are curriculum, innovative pedagogy, assessment, and implementation of all these, which all these 4 factors, which is very, very important. So curriculum means it should be in the form of fertile questions yet to be asked and answered, issues yet to be thought and resolved, technology yet to be invented and dreamt of. How? By connect with joyful activities, failing which it will result in boredom, disconnect, learning deficit. So now coming to the second aspect, that is innovative pedagogy. That is teaching learning process, of course. So teachers should know why and what to teach so that learners can learn themselves. What kind of meta skills and metacognitive skills to be used to enable learners to learn by self-paced learning with independent, we can say, independency by self-organized way. And methodology should be followed, should be experimentation and experiential way of teaching. Style, play way method, gamification, apps like quizzes and Mentimeters, which we are using already now. How? Via creative, challenging, fruitful, and competency-based discussions using artificial intelligence or augmented reality. So some of the innovative pedagogies which I found very useful, and NEP 2020 also says about that, it is cooperative learning, competency-based learning, project-based learning, or constructivism approach supported by teachers using 5 E's like engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. Next is mixed reality and immersive experience using blended mode of learning, flipped classrooms, competency in digital pedagogy, design thinking approach, scaffolding. Now, teacher is not the sage on the stage or guide by the side. Teacher is a scaffolder. So a facilitator, experiential learning, art integrated education, in interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, or transdisciplinary teaching learning processes. All these are various approaches which lead us towards quality education. And third aspect is assessment. What is assessment? Our focus should be on assessing the learning of learners, not examining their mistakes. What is being internalized, we have to see to that. How transforming the way they are communicating, style of presentation by them, how successfully formulating and correlating with unknown objects they are doing this thing. And how can we do this? Through conversation within students, and transforming with others via machine learning. that is surfing or finding, sequencing, paragraphing, deciding, and finalizing. So again, we are moving to the design thinking approach over here. And the last aspect is implementation, which is very, very important aspect. Once we have done or gone through all these three aspects, how to implement it, that matters a lot. It should neither be like like an old engine in new car, nor be like new engine in the dented and painted old car looking like new. It should be like new engine in brand new car with all sort of improvisations in it, with the scope of modifications based on need, requirement, and road, with the futuristic scope, so that students can move ahead. Teachers have to scaffold them to provide them support only. So I'm sure that if the SDG 4 of quality education will definitely be achieved when the knowledge brains all across the globe have joined hands together towards Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you so much. This is from my side.
Thank you so much, Dare. Definitely, with the huge and a beautiful group of stakeholders in terms of education, we all have collaborated today. So this SDG 4 will be certainly been there with all of us. We all are working hard and we will be soon achieving that. So certainly. Well, the next speaker, yes, with the beautiful profile, Dr. Snigdha Kadam from India again. She is PhD, MA, BEd, BSc, Director in Academic Affairs, India of IIU, Principal, Seva Sadan Society's English Medium School, Mumbai, Maharashtra. Educationist, a school principal, a keynote speaker, and a blogger with a passion for the academic and holistic development of the students. Yes, education is actually her passion. As an academician, she loved to teach mathematics using innovative methods of teaching. She always keen to interact with her students on regularly basis, and not only for academics, but also to impart their good values. She actually motivates students to work for society by helping them as per their needs and requirements. And as she says, nurture the nature is the tagline for which she actually works on all the school activities as well. She's also the great member of various organizations, honorary member of Global Educators Fraternity, honorary advisor of Oxford EduServe India, joint director of Igniting Dreams of Young Minds Foundation Maharashtra, professional member of EduCos Unite of Scholars, honorary professional member of SK Educare India, speaker and panelist for GRK QSF Edu Talks as well, Maharashtra Mahila Brigade, president of Rashtriya Sainik Sanstha. With this, I would like to request Dr. Snigdha Kadam to please take the stage and enlighten our audience.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prachi, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all my friends all over the globe. Today's topic, quality education. Education liberates the intellect, unlocks the imagination, and is the fundamental for self-respect. It is the key to prosperity and opens world of opportunities, making it possible for each of us to contribute to a progressive, healthy society. Learning benefits every human being and should be available to all. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare it for today. Education is the key to success, the key to freedom, the passport to success, the inheritance of no stress, the pillar of a kingdom. Education is the best property to have. It is the only assurance of a better future. Thank you, God, for giving us education, because that is the cause of celebration. Now, I can say that education is important in human lives. It will cost you, but it will never lost you. Friends may betray, but education will never betray. Value it in your life, as very rightly said by Mr. Abdul Now, we all as an educators should meet the global goals to ensure the quality education to all the girls, boys, all the needy learners till 2030. We should have a free and primary secondary education leading to relevant and effective learning outcomes, equal access to quality pre-primary education, to quality early childhood development, so that they are ready for the primary education, equal access to affordable technical, vocational, higher education and tertiary education, including university education, increase the number of people with the relevant skills for a financial success, substantially increase the number of youth and adults who have relevant skills, including technical, vocational skills for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. Eliminate all discrimination in education. Eliminate gender disparities in education. Ensure that equal levels of education to all the children in spite of various gender, race, or physical disability, indigenous people, children in vulnerable situation. Universal literacy and numeracy. Education for sustainable development and global citizenship. Build and upgrade inclusive and safe schools. Inclusive education is very, very important. And I should say it is one of the important aspects of the quality education. Expand higher education scholarships for developing countries. Substantially expand globally the number of scholarships available to developing countries, in particular least developed countries, small islands, developing states, African countries for enrollment in higher education, including vocational training, information and communication technology, technical engineering, and scientific programs in developed countries and other developing countries. Increase the supply of quality teachers in developing countries. So to have a quality teachers, what we need is the training and proper assistance, guidance, and support material to be given to all the teachers. So education is said to be a need, though people feel it is not a necessity. There is an abundance of advantage is in being read. Still, men feel it is not of no use in reality. A value behind closed doors. There is much to be gathered thereon, even used in all dimensions. This is well evident and seen. Education is the main. Though there could be pain, still no pain, no gain. Even a lot to get in the rain. Education should not just depreciate, though it is what no man can alienate. It is of use everywhere and also of help anywhere. Education excels knowledge. It could be refitting. Assuredly, it gives an age and a very one that is profiting. With education, there cannot be shambles. It never excels shame. Not one of casualties. Why don't we embrace it? Stay calm. So quality education is very, very needed. So ensuring quality in higher education and each and every sector of the education is one of the most important thing that we can do for our future generations, for future of our country, for future of our globe. Thank you so much, Piyush Pandit sir, the pillar and visionary person of co-founder of IIU International Internship University, all dignitaries of IIU for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, Prachi, our wonderful coordinator and moderator for the day. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kadam. With the wonderful insights, definitely quality education is actually required and a need of an hour. But as I said earlier, with this, the group of stakeholders for education, we all will be able to bring a big change for this society. With this, moving further with our next speaker of the day, with Ms. Swati Bakshi from India again. She's a postgraduate in English literature, founder, director, educator, Funlish English Language School, and a Century Tulip Dale Public School. 25 years of experience in the field of education, which is not, and this is not very less. Founder of 2 educational institutions in her city, Kolkata, a formal and a non-formal school. She is also an SDG ambassador, a regular participant, speaker, panelist, and in various international collaborative projects of SDGs. So she's the right person for today. She is also a VECLET community leader, MIE, certified educator, and winner of Reliance Foundation Award, Global Inspiring Women's Award, Greenathon, National Environmental Excellence Award, and Special Educator Award from Doza, Serek, Macedonia. She is also associated with Macmillan Educations as a teacher, trainer, and author of higher secondary English language test papers. She has several certificates and e-gold medal in her kitty as panelist, speaker, or resource person in several national and international conferences and different collaborations as well. So I'm very happy to invite you on the stage, ma'am. The stage is all yours. Please join us and enlighten our audience with your words.
Thank you so much, Prachi ma'am, for such a kind introduction. Let me tell you, I have absolutely no word of gratitude would be enough to say, I mean, how happy and how grateful I feel today to have been invited here, because IIU is doing such a tremendous job. And we all know what IIU is doing these days. We can all see that. And I'm so honored and privileged to be sharing this screen space today with a galaxy of edu leaders and educationists from all over the world. There is so much of learning and sharing happening here. But well, I would just like to deviate a little bit, not from the topic, but from the mode of presentation, ma'am. See, regarding SDG 4, the different pointers in SDG 4, the kind of things that are required to be done, I guess all our eminent educationists are highlighting a lot on that, and I really don't have anything to add to it. So what I can do today is I would love to share with you a video, just 5.5 minutes video, to show you the kind of work that we are doing for SDG 4 or to further the goal of quality education. Ma'am, the school that you just mentioned, Century Tulip Dale Public School, which I had founded way back in 2009, was founded for primarily the first generation learners, you know, children from the neighborhood, children of all the roadside stall owners, the fishmongers, the vegetable mongers. For the children, those children, we try to provide them with the kind of education that the privileged children were having in their school. But we didn't want to stop at that. We wanted to reach out further and bring in even the keen adult learners who probably never had a chance to go to school in their times, had read a little, but they wanted to read more. There are children still in the suburbs of my city who do not have access to books, either due to time issue or due to affordability issue. So we thought of something unique to reach them. It's like, if you cannot reach us, we'll try to reach you. So that project, I don't want to name it now. You can see that in the video. If you just allow me to share it, I would want to share with all of you.
Yes, please, you can.
Thank you so much. Is my screen visible? Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, it is.
I am Swati Bakshi Purkastha, an educator from Kolkata, India. I'm the founder of 2 educational institutions in my city. One is Funlish, an English Language Training Institute, and the other, a non-profit called Thakurpukur Center for Peace and Development Initiative, under which we run a school called Tulip Dale Public School. It is a primary school for primarily the first generation learners and other less privileged children in the suburbs of the city. With an eye to SDG 4, that is quality education for all, and keeping literacy and numeracy for all as our vision, we started a project about which I wish to narrate to you in a verse. Hope you like it. The mobile library. That's our project. On the 9th of November 2009, the morning was sunny and bright and just fine. Mission literacy was to hear a new tale when born was a school tulip tale. The founders had vision of giving education to learners who were of just first generation. Dependent wholly on school were those kids. Some loving teachers took them as seeds. Making them bloom became their goal. Into their lessons, they put heart and soul. Day in and day out, they inspired a passion and readied the kids for holistic education. Support at home, the poor kids had none. They loved their school, where lessons were fun. The onus on us was to let this love prevail. The tulips were ready to bloom in the day. The butcher, the tailor, the roadside stall owner, the hawker, the grocer, the local fishmonger were all proud parents whose kids now could all read and speak English to sums big and small. Literacy and numeracy walking hand in hand. More kids from suburbs kept joining our band. Trained now to use EVS wherever they could, they tried now to make better their neighborhood. Now the Tulipians had a new role to play. Mission literacy being still a long way. Lot of time gone, all needed to hurry. Hence started project Mobile Library. There were still kids who could not reach books. Books will reach them was the pledge that we took. Knowing the neighborhood, we thought out a plan of a mobile library in a rickshaw van. The vehicle was so simple and familiar that children approached it without any fear. The rickshaw was decked up with balloons colorful, streamers and posters of Tulip Dale School. Two transparent boxes of colorful books lent the library the required look. Seated in the van was one teacher storyteller. Another teacher was there to act as the lender. Together, it all made a beautiful whole. The mobile library was bang on the roll. The rickshaw went on along alleys and lanes to such remote corners where ignorance reigns. Kids and olds alike came running to hear stories of things and lands far and near. Local clubs played the Good Samaritans. The club rooms were used to further the mission. Those that were eager to just take a look, we insisted them to come borrow a book. This way we triggered an interest in them. Eager they were to learn writing their name. Learning to read, write, hear stories as well. Love for the ML was now on a swell. But we have just started. Lot remains to be done. But mobile library is going great gun. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this narrative of our mobile library. Thank you once again.
That's all from my side. Unfortunately, with the COVID attack, we had to bring this entire project to a stall. But we are hoping once the children are back and schools start functioning regularly, we will be able to further our mission once again with the support and good wishes of all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bakshi. Certainly, and definitely you'll make the change, and we all are there with you in terms of any sort of help. And IIU is anyway with their one mission and vision where we all support. With this, definitely with a beautiful insight from Ms. Bakshi, don't you guys feel excited? I mean, I'm very happy, to be honest. So I would request you all actually that with all this energy, with all this excitement where we all get to learn, to share, to grow together, let's share the enthusiasm with all the speakers, motivate them with the virtual clap, don't we? Or we should be, definitely, right? So I'm waiting for you all. We all can share the reactions with the button at the bottom where the virtual clap or the thumbs up, definitely. So with this, moving further with our next speaker of the day, Mr. Sanjeev Kapoor from India again. He is BE, PGDIM, MMS, Chairman, Sports Grail Private Limited, and avid technocrat and a very senior management position in the corporate world. A very, very warm welcome, sir. The stage is all yours. The entire audience in this town is waiting for you.
Thank you very much. And first of all, compliments for, having such a wonderful evening with such a wonderful, eminent speakers who are sharing their thoughts. And what better for me to hear, Dr. Swati Bakshi, who has really put forth the mobile library, the word which is so close to my heart, mobile, because I was involved in this industry since I started my career. I am basically a technocrat. I must confess that I am not an educationist, but yes, now I am doing a lot into the education after serving the corporate world from the past 33, 34 years. So I must say that, let's look at the basic objective of the SDG for the quality education. So I think what they were saying that by 2030, let's ensure that all the girls and boys complete free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education, leading to the relevant goal for effective learning outcomes. So by 2030, ensure equal access for all the women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational, and tertiary education, including the university. No doubt, the education liberates the intellect, unlocks the imagination, and is fundamental for our self-respect. Mind you, self-respect is the key for, because if we just see that when we are a child, we hear the word education from our parents. When we grow up and we have our children, we give them the education. So I think it's the cycle which is getting repeated. So history repeats itself. So education is the fundamental right on each and every person. It is the key to prosperity and opens a world of opportunities, making it possible for each of us to contribute to a progressive, healthy society. Learning benefits every human being and should be available to all. Very important that it should be available to all. But if we look at the data around the world, I think millions and millions of children are deprived of the quality education or no education at all because of the infrastructure, because of the long distances, because of the area where they are living, because of the non-availability of the schools or colleges or universities in that area, and obviously the funds available with the parent because they are very poor to give them the education. So a quality education is the one that provides all the learners with the capabilities they require to become economically productive, develop sustainable livelihoods, contribute to the peaceful and democratic societies, and enhance the individual well-being. So I'm not involved in the education, which is a routine education, but yes, I'm involved in the sports management education. I am one of the director with the SPA India, which is called Sports Association Academy of India. We are running the sports management courses, and which are affiliated by the Ministry, Government of India. And our motto is that Khilega India, Khelega India, Khilega India. And equal economical opportunity for each and every one. So these courses are available for the students who are in the school, students who are there in the college, and the students who are the postgraduate students. And even the courses are also available for coaches, teachers who wants to teach their the students or children for the sports management program. So what I mean to say that quality education is a must. I think it is a fundamental right. Each and every speaker which I heard of is giving an emphasis that the education by whatever means be delivered to our children, let's they not be deprived of the quality education or the education at all. We all make a the total effort to give them the education in such a way that they will be the proud citizen of a country in the times to come. Thank you very much for giving me a patience hearing. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be in such a wonderful platform. And if I can be of any help in the future, I can be reached anytime at skapoor492@gmail.com. Thank you very much once again, and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Kapoor, for your valuable insights with this virtual clap by Ms. Bakshi. Yes, and to all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's not only, yes, education, but it's also when it is equal and should be accessible to all with this one vision of the IIU University, that education is for all, quality education is for all, and also definitely it's not one thing which we all read through books. It's also by skills where Mr. Kapoor was actually emphasizing upon. So certainly, now with our next speaker of the day, Dr. Suchita Bhattacharya from India. She's MPhil, PhD, Principal, Manav Rachna International School. She's an educationist since last 20 years with 10 years as a principal. She's an communist and motivational speaker as well on national and international forums. She is a master trainer and a receiver of many, many awards. She's also followed by many awards, many accreditations, many opportunities where she's been delivering, and she's also a member of many societies as well. A very warm welcome, Dr. Bhattacharya. The stage is all yours. Dr. Bhattacharya?
I don't see her, Dr. Prachi.
All right.
Maybe she will come back now. Let's go further.
Yeah. So moving further, yes, followed by with the II, one of its kind, International Internship University, the important video where we'll be giving you a little glimpse about the courses, what actually IIU do and how it can actually help all our students, or to all of us. So sharing a small video with all of you. And there you go.
When you think about university, you think of a building, books in the library, classrooms, students roaming around, teachers, and a huge fees to get admission. Imagine a university which is not fixed at one place, where students can study at their own ease, at their desired locations, where the curriculum is updated with the technological changes and focus on the true things which matter in life. The university which focuses on developing mindset. The university which develops skills. We are talking about the contemporary education mechanism, the virtual university. International Internship University believes in inspiring, inventing, igniting young minds, cultivating excellence in every student by enabling accessible education at their own ease through virtual internships. Virtual internships act as a gateway to a world of knowledge application that was previously held behind closed doors for the fresh graduates. The ability to meet, speak, work, and collaborate with industry professionals from a diverse range of fields, such as engineering, business management, humanitarian fields, and much more, delivers insights that the students can foster for a lifetime. It bridges the ever so glaring gap between the demands of the corporate world and the pride of academia. We invite applications for PhD, doctorate in literature, doctorate in science, LLD honors degree from experienced personnel in various disciplines who have rich experience in their respective fields. The program is offered only to a select group of accomplished individuals. As a professional, a degree or additional degree will allow you to make a greater impact. The expedient way of showing the world your knowledge, abilities, experience, and talents is with your degree and use of your titles.
Wow, with this beautiful insight, yes, the introduction of DII University with number of courses, areas, opportunities for all of us, Now moving further with our next speaker, without wasting time, yes, I would like to invite Ms. Seema Bhushan from India. She's PhD, MA in English and Psychology. She's MA as well. Principal, Greenway Modern School. She's an ardent educationist, passionately imparting educationist from last 28 years. She's a district training coordinator of CBSE as well, and a certificate course developer in terms of guidance and giving directions to the students. Ms. Seema, the stage is all yours. Ms. Seema,
good evening, good morning.
Yeah.
Am I audible to all?
Yes, you are, loud and clear.
Thank you. Revered organizers, honorable moderators, respected dignitaries, and esteemed participants. I, Dr. Seema Bhushan, feel honored to be part of IIU. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be part of this plethora of intellectuals. We have already taken our first step towards sustainable development by coming together on this platform and discussing development goals. I extend my heartiest congratulations to all the participants for being part of this great mission. Education, before I start expressing my views on this topic, I will briefly just talk about education and quality education. Education is a process of facilitating learning or acquisition of knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habits. Quality education specifically entails issues such as appropriate skills, development, gender parity, provision of relevant school infrastructure, equipments, educational materials and resources. Scholarships and teaching force is also part of it. Quality education is one that focuses on the whole child. the social, emotional, mental, physical, cognitive development of each student, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, social economic status, geographic locations. It prepares the child for life, not just for testing. The topic is extensive, and 5 minutes seems less to verbalize about it. I, being from the background of English language literature, I feel more congenial to express myself poetically. So I will try to just put my thoughts, my ideas, my views in through poetry, through this short poem. In words of William Wordsworth, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. We all being educationalists, we all being from the fraternity, we are passionate about this particular area. That is why we are in this field. I begin my poem. The key to rewarding future is education. Our dreams are glued like a searcher through education. What paves our path to success? What drives smoothly towards greatness? Yes, you got it right. It is education. Education helps us through resilience. Education drives away our ignorance. Education clears our doubts and gives us clarity. It leads us to the path of prosperity. Education aids in building an exemplary character. To be successful in life is its prime factor. The meaning of progression, liberty, and humanity gets true meaning through education. Equality, tolerance, and freedom can't be imagined without education. It is the ship that will help us to sail to stardom. It is the key to one's freedom, the key to unlock the golden doors of freedom. Let us ponder over quality education. The components are knowledge enabling curriculum that assists quality learners, quality learning environment, quality content, quality processes, and quality outcomes. Quality education must be designed. Quality education must be designed to provide all-round development of potential to achieve future. It should focus on holistic approach, advancements of technology, ethically let us nurture. Real quality education that provides all learners with capabilities they require, make economically productive, hence their livelihood acquire. It should aim at peaceful and democratic societies' well-being. Enhancements of individual life skills can prominently be seen. The learning outcomes must include threshold level of literacy, basic scientific knowledge, critical thinking, and even numeracy. Inclusion of equality will make quality education perceived. Gender equality, social equality needs to be achieved. Education imbibes respect for human, respect for nation, respect for nature, respect for cultures, love and integration. Acquisition of knowledge, skills, values, morals, and beliefs, all are amalgamation of quality education in brief. Thank you. I'm optimistic that together we will make world a better place. Let us adapt inclusive education, experiential learning proposed in NAP and be the torchbearers for the nation. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nada, for giving me this opportunity to come on this platform and express myself. She has been very patient answering my personal messages. I may not be able to name all because this is my first interaction at this platform, but Nada is the one who has genuinely helped me to clear all my doubts. There were certain doubts regarding my date of presentation. Thank you, Nada, for being patient.
Thank you.
Each one of you.
Thank you, respected Dr. Seema Bhushan.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was my pleasure to
Thank you so much.
communicate with you and with everybody, because I must say that I'm getting many messages, but here I will also want to apologize maybe for somebody.
No, ma'am, you were very patient. You were
who
very
is
prompt,
not-
ma'am.
Yes, because many questions, many people, and as I said today, education. We have 2 days for education. Today is the first day, and the Monday is the second day. Tomorrow is a free day, and we will have education at the beginning of the conference, and also it means for the other SDGs. So please.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I want to say to everybody, because that is for people maybe a little confusion. Because if somebody was goal 1, it don't mean that he will not have a chance to speak. He will speak, but he will speak at the end of the conference, and there will be all others. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Seema.
ma'am. Thank you. My another poem for Zero Hunger is also ready, which I could not be part of. Hopefully, I will be able to share that soon with you. Thank you so much, ma'am. I congratulate each one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please join the group with for the certificate, Dr. Seema.
Yes, ma'am. I have already joined, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Seema Bhushan, for your valuable insights, and a virtual clap to all our speakers being coming up with great insights in terms of quality education, our SDG 4. With this, moving further, one of the great personality, yes, and a dear friend of mine, Chetna Sabarwal from India. She is MSc Psychology, Life Coach certified from UK, Career Coach certified from GCC UCLA, international speaker, and also a director of skills reform. She's 25 years plus experience of mergers at the Care4 of education. As an international speaker at various conferences across the globe, she has been conferred with many awards for her contribution in education, social entrepreneurship, and also skill development. Her recent laurels includes Business Leader Award 2021, which is under 50 in skills augmentation category by Business Mint, 111 Power Women Award 2021 by Lead India Foundation, Global Juror to represent India in SDG 9 and Women Achievers Award by Indian Women Convention by dedicated work in a social awareness campaign for women empowerment. She has also been conferred as a top 25 mentors of India by Think CIQ for her extensive work in mentoring the youth for eliminating math phobia and the outstanding services by the counselor. Award in 2013 for her relentless contribution in the field of counseling and taking up issues on mental health and education. She is also involved in mentoring an international team at Global STEM Alliance, New York, where each year 2,000 students participate to find solutions for global challenges using STEM. A very warm welcome, Chetna. The stage is all yours, and I'm very happy to introduce here on the stage.
It's a pleasure to be here, Prachi, and all the people who are here, I know most of them. And that's why Rabia was after me that you should be here. And thank you, Rabia, for giving me all those nudges through your messages. So this credit goes to Rabia for having me here because I was completely packed with the sessions today. But thank you so much. And when I went through the IIU, the concept, it so much relates to what I am going to speak about. So just to give you a gist of what actually the Sustainable Development Goal 4 of education or quality education talks about, it's ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So far, I have heard so many speakers about the schools and colleges and universities, but it goes beyond that. The 2030 agenda, which is a universal and collective commitment, it requires political will, global and regional collaboration, and the engagement of all government, civil society, the private sector, youth, United Nations, and other multilateral agencies to tackle educational challenges and build systems that are inclusive, equitable, and relevant to all learners. Today on this forum, I thought of taking up the 2 sub-pointers of the quality education, which is 4.3, which says ensure equal access for all women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational, and tertiary education, including university. And that's where the virtual university also comes into play a part, an important part, an integral part here. And of course, the 4.4, which is very dear to me, very close to our work, which we are doing at Skills Reform, which is substantially increase the number of youth and adults who have relevant skills, including technical and vocational skills for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. Now, this has already been spoken about by many people, and I feel that the global, the Sustainable Development Goal 4 actually encompasses every other goal for that matter. And the last one, which I also love to speak, which is SDG 17, also encompasses everything what we are going to talk about on this forum. Now, education, if you see, has been the focus of media attention since the virus has intermittently closed classrooms and campuses over the past year. But despite the disruption, the widespread shift to online learning has given learners and education providers a glimpse of the future, I would say, as well as reminding them of what makes teaching and learning more successful. So we are all learners here, and we are trying our best to keep abreast with the technology, as well as the young minds also who are already who are born with the digital gadgets these days. Now, keeping these challenges in mind, we at Skills Reform has taken the responsibility to bridge the skills gap and transforms lives, and to give them a seamless transition from school to college, college to campus, campus to corporate. That's the whole idea, where we are emphasizing on mainly 4 skills, which are transition skills, transferable skills, growth mindset, and personal branding. So I'm not going to talk about those here, but yes, I would like to just present to you that what exactly we entail to and how we can together collaborate to work on this. So my next 5 minutes are all about emphasizing the need of looking beyond the traditional and prescribed curriculum policies or framework as the path towards the industry 5.0 is moving or is accelerating by 100 times now. Now, the space for education, I call it SPACE, just to say it. So S stands for skilling, success, and scaling up the levels of 2 basic education, that is literacy and numeracy, from micro to global levels. Now, skills acquisition is what makes the education purposeful and an asset in the world of work. So if we are teaching the subjects, we have to be sure of that beyond work-specific skills, emphasis must be placed on developing high-level cognitive and non-cognitive transferable skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, teamwork, communication skill, and conflict resolutions, which can be used across a range of occupational fields, because degree alone will not matter. It will be these skills which are going to place at the current scenario, it's 56% of Indian youth is unemployable, if you have seen the reports, and that's where my whole motive comes from. Now, whichever role, organization, or community you are working for, try to impact each individual irrespective of age, gender, and socioeconomic status. And that's where the virtual learning comes from. Now, P here in the 5-letter this thing, P stands for pillars of education. That needs to be strengthened more, because the students who are in the current situation have actually they have moved backward, maybe in their social and emotional health and their skill health also. I would say that skill question, emotional question, spiritual question, being confined to the limited space into their houses. So there's a very restructured and very limited space for them to grow and understand what exactly the world wants from them. So learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and learning to be. These are the 4 pillars of education as defined by UNICEF, Now, learning to know, we think in this era that, okay, we know everything about every possible knowledge. Now, learning to do also, are we allowing others to learn by doing? And learning to live together is something which will be the biggest challenge, because everybody wants their speaking space, their personal space, their existence space also, I would say that. And learning to be, so let's be together and decide about that, how we want to entail this process of education for our learners, or our future generations, who are, of course, facing a different kind of struggle right now in this particular pandemic. A here is for access in every sense, though the quality education also talks about access, but I'm talking here about just not schools, colleges, institutions, or organizations. We all must embrace every human being in his or her being. So you have seen during this pandemic that even a maid also has become an Instagram influencer, and anybody for that matter at the age of 80 or 90 are somehow they are giving that education to people, that how you can be confident. And I feel these people, those who are the elders or those who are not in the workforce, are actually the major drive for the young learners, because they tell them that, okay, this is how you can actually have the self-esteem to grow for yourself and have a good mental health and well-being. So A would be access to donating an hour from your 24 hours to empower someone with any skill they require to survive is what world needs to achieve the goals by 2030. And next one is C, for being creative, collaborative, connected, and communication. Forums like this, which IIU has actually planned for, and I have frantically telling everybody that, okay, maybe we can do this at this also, with my frequent message to Nada. But then this is the open space to share, contribute, deliberate, and adopt the best practices from each one of the speakers here today and for the next few days, about 17 goals. And then maybe we have a curriculum which is open for everybody, those who want to learn. And that's what I feel the vision of Virtual University IIU is. And thus must be promoted to educate children, youth, adult, and elders, irrespective of which ethnicity they come from. And last but not the least, E for us specifically is about embracing empathy, equity, and equality, both in education and entrepreneurship, because India is the land of entrepreneurs, but then we don't have that kind of a space or that kind of a resources to train them on, and that's where we want to play a role. Now, learning from equipped and skilled youth as a barter is a new way to collaborate. So if you want to learn, so you don't have to sort of never hesitate learning Instagram from your kids or from your students also, for that matter. And the educational space is the next revolution waiting to happen, with almost like $400 billion being invested into this particular industry. Each one of us have a space to grow. And learner choosing their own pace, purpose, and plan. That is what is going to happen. Each learner, irrespective of which age group they come from, they will choose their own pace, purpose, and plan. And that's where the open spaces for learning, whether it is the online courses or online skilling courses, or maybe you want to be a YouTuber, or you want to be an Instagram influencer, or whatever you want to learn. So skills are there going to be the major part of education. So education will just not remain confined to the degrees. And that's what I wanted to speak about here. So how are you willing to contribute to this space is what I would like to leave you with a thought of this. And thank you for having me on this forum today, and happy skilling. I hope I have been able to confine myself to the 5 minutes which were given to me. And I'm looking forward to collaborate with any one of you who's willing to be a part of our mentorship program, where people from any part of the world can mentor as per their choice, as per the expertise which is required, and train this youth who's actually feeling somewhere a kind of a void right now in this situation, though the schools and education institutes are doing their best for it. But I feel that there is still a gap, and we should cater to that gap. So, and if we are really looking for 2030, so we have to be together. So thank you so much, IIU, Prachi, Nada, and Piyush, for having me here today. And I'm happy to be a part of this such wonderful forum, which is using all sort of kind of media communication, whichever way, so through poems and through thoughts and through presentations. So that's a wonderful forum to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chetna, for the wonderful insights, and a big round of applause with your valuable inputs, certainly, which will be adding to everyone's network. With this, our next speaker for the day, Dr. Vaishnavi from India. She's doctorate, founder chairperson, Early Child Development Forum, Tender Petals Preschool, Child Education and Development Research Center, Inner Foundation Private Limited. She is an early childhood educationist working in the domain from last 22 years, an edupreneur, a social rights activist, and change maker. She is passionate for working with children from the disadvantaged sections of the society, encouraged her to launch DNA Foundation for Children and Women Welfare since 2014, and subsequently Early Child Development Forum in 2018. She's an edupreneur, and she's also running her own brand of preschools by the name of Tender Petals. A very, very warm welcome, dear. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the lovely introduction. And I've been listening to my fellow speakers, and it's like lovely insight, and we've been getting all this while. Now, when I look into the SDGs, all 17 of them, I see that education can be called one of the core elements, because it is the key to many other sustainable development goals that we have in the SDGs. So improving the quality of education is the foundation of creating a sustainable development, a sustainable world. And in addition to that, I feel that improving the quality of life and access to inclusive education can help equip locals with tools required to develop innovation solution to the world's greatest problems. Now, if we look into just excuse me, I'm just may I share my screen if that is possible? It's been disabled. Is it possible to share the screen? If not, I'll just continue.
Can, dear. I've made you the co-host. You can.
Sure. Thank you so much. So when we look at the targets, we see that there are 10 targets, and there are 3 ways basically of achieving. So effective learning environment is something that we need to really create, and then we need to have equity and a lot of quality training for educators. Since I come from the early childhood platform, so is the screen visible?
Yes, it is.
I'm very sorry about this. I think there is a little bit of a network issue. I'll stop the screen share, in fact. Yeah, I think this would be better. I'm very sorry about this. It's not just working. Anyway, so since I come from the early childhood education sector, and if we look at India, when we look at early childhood education, there's 100% enrollment of children in the schools when they are in the early years. Yet at the same time, when these children reach to the higher education level, to the secondary level, they just drop out. So we need to look into certain solutions. So when we are looking at the free primary and secondary education, which is the target 4.1, which is actually very close to my heart, because we from ECDF, which is our NGO initiative, we work with children from the marginalized sections, and we have seen that in the lower income groups, it's very, very difficult to convince the parents to send them to the preschools. So that actually kind of hampers, because if we do not start early, it is very difficult to actually get the whole population educated at a later stage. So early years education is very, very important. And one trend that I have noticed, that it is usually, when we are looking at the more developed nations, the preschool education is more accepted. Whereas if you look at the third world countries, we have this challenge of, not getting these children into the schools right from the start. So generally, that is what my observation is, but we have to look at solutions. And when I look at solutions, I feel that we have to move beyond averages. There should be equity and inclusion. But when we talk about the SDG goals, a lot of third world countries actually in their policy, they talk about inclusion. But when we talk about inclusion, we are mostly talking about people with disability or special needs education. But then inclusion also comes to, when we look at it, we have to look at a broader perspective and get more people in the ambit of inclusion. And education and social assistance and policies, I think, need to be designed jointly to promote equity, as in the case of schools which have indigenous students. And there are a lot of examples, like in Vietnam, the tuition fees of students are not there. Even in India, when we look at the government schools, they are not charged. But then at the same time, the infrastructure and everything needs to be developed, because the teachers need to be there, the classes need to happen, the children need to be enrolled, they need to get the midday meals. So there are a lot of aspects to it. So everything needs to have a concerted effort when it comes to the early childhood education sector. And beyond access, we need to also work on quality and learning. Countries need to develop a robust national assessment system that provides over time it diagnoses the trends and not just look into transition from one level to the next. Now, when we look at our NEP 2020, there are a lot of the SDGs that are inculcated in the NEP 2020, and I feel that that would actually help if we really look into the implementation of it in the right manner and in the right in a more meaningful way. So we also should look at selective participation and cross-national assessments in valuable complementary tools to develop capacity and benchmark in the national system. And I would go to another thing that comes to my mind. It's we have to create lifelong learners. And for that, we need to actually provide lifelong learning opportunities. So at the moment we look when we look at the entire world or the scenario, or probably the third world countries, we see that many are lacking the opportunity. So when they are just when we do not provide the ample opportunity to half of the population of this world, it doesn't work. So we need to look into that. And I also feel that governments need to address the challenges that are that the more educated are more likely to get the all kind of education, be it from the pre-primary level to the higher classes. So beyond education cross-section, we need to look at cross-section cooperation. Ministries of education need to engage in stronger partnerships with other sectors that extend beyond planning to implementation to achieve SDG 4. And partnerships is also important. So when we are looking at these solutions, it goes beyond regional, beyond countries, it goes into the regional and global cooperation. And regional organizations need to have clear education agendas aligned to the SDG 4. So if I would just say that we are at the start, but we are not really away from that. And I think the awareness that is created by these kind of platforms, where I'm so glad to be here, and I have Rabia got me in. And today when I'm listening to the speakers, I can see there are a lot of insights. I'm also taking down some points. So it's so important that when we implement, how we go about it. Even we have adopted a village in rural Assam, and we see that there's a lot of gap. My former speaker talked about the gap that we are having in this entire implementation system or in the policies that we have, which needs to be bridged. And I feel that with concerted effort, with lot of cooperation, and with ample amount of policies, this can be bridged. This is what I have to say, and thank you so much for having me here today on this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vaishnavi. Thanks a ton. Certainly, it adds value, and what all we all have been discussing, the topic and the area where we all have actually gathered here for ISDG, yes, Sustainable Development Goal. With this, the quality education, every point actually values, and that's the reason we all have been collaborated. We have been all gathered here for. So every single point adds values. With this, the value added points of every single speakers and the virtual clap, the virtual motivation to every single stakeholder here, I would like to invite my second speaker of the day, Dr. Lee Sam. I am from Malaysia. She is PhD, Dr. Seri Bintang Utara High School. From chemistry, excellent teacher, has 31 years of teaching experience, Malaysian iconic teacher. She's an international awardee of 75 Top Educators 2021 from Microsoft Teachers Appreciation Legacy Project 2021 as well. She's a Women of Substance Digital Award 2020, Global Inspiring Women's Award 2019, Global Teacher Award, and also first place where Best Science Teacher in Southeast Asia, Ki Hajar Award 2016 as well. A very, very warm welcome, dear. The stage is all yours. Dr. Lee Sam.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Thank you, moderator and distinguished guests, keynote speakers, and dear participants from all over the globe. And also, thank you, the IIU, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. So, just now, thank you for all the keynote speaker already share about what is SDG 4 and I very lovely story. I very like to hear about all this, the thoughts shared by the keynote speakers. So I would like to repeat, actually, what is SDG 4 and why is it? So the target of SDG 4, I would like to remind all the educators again. So the target of SDG 4 is actually to ensure inclusive and quality educations for all and promote lifelong learnings. According to the research, 57 million children remain out of school. So this is a very huge number. So what can we do as an educator? I strongly agree that the quality of education is not an option. Perhaps we should have 4 A's education. So what is 4A educations? For me, the education should be available, accessible, acceptable, and adaptable by anyone, anywhere, and anytime, and lifelong. The education, I would like to share, to say that the power of education. So education is actually the key for having better lives. Education empowers people to live more healthy and sustainable. Education helps to reduce inequality, such as education, gender inequalities, changes attitude to empower women. Education contributes more peaceful society. Education breaks the cycle of poverty. Education contributes to peaceful, enhance individual well-being as in line with SDG Goal 3, good health and well-being. Education is also enables to upwards social economic mobility and is key to escaping poverty and also zero hunger. So here, allow me to share me as a chemistry teacher's perspective. So as we know that chemistry is a subject that involving experiments, theories, formulas, numerical problems, explaining chemical reactions, cause and effect, etc., etc. So how can I provide quality chemistry learning to my students during virtual learnings? As all of you know, my country at this moment, the school is still closed. I'm still running virtual learning, online teaching. So to me, in my country, the teacher's role, okay, our ministry already set up. Our teacher's role is like a planner, controller, as a mentors, as a motivators, evaluators, and also we need to create space to promote students as active learners. So how to achieve this? During the remote teaching. So for me, I will use a lot of digital apps to engage my students, such as a lot of apps like PowerPoint, Teams, and etc., etc. Okay, in the Microsoft, and as well as Google apps. for example, like Google Slide and drawing, okay, and Google Form. I use a lot of Google Form for the assessment, to get the attendance, and also to get feedback from my student. Beside that, I also use teaching and learning online and also offline approaches. Beside that, in my teachings, because chemistry, we need to give some real life example, real life activities, such as, for example, let's say I'm teaching about the rate of reactions, how to explain to students like the factor of temperature will affect the rate of reaction. So, for example, we use a very easy example, like for example, when you want to fry chicken meats, okay, the student will say, teacher, maybe I will cut the chicken meats to the smaller size so that it can cook faster. This is also one of the example, right? And beside that, also I try to use the materials that my student can get easily from their house so that they can run a simple experiments. So beside that, some other approaches that I use, such as just now our speaker also mentioned, the problem-based learning, project-based learning, flipped learnings, and also, for example, students can compare the effectiveness of cleansing actions between the soap and detergent. They really can, my student really can get the cloth and wash using soap and detergent so that they compare. So this is the experiment that they can do at home. So beside that, I also record some videos so that the student can replay and watch again and again until they understand the particulars theory or maybe the concepts. Beside that, gamification is also very, very good in the remote teaching, for example, the Minecraft. So when I first implement or introduce the gamification using the Minecraft to my students, they really love it until they don't want to leave the virtual worlds. Okay, so beside that, using all these approaches, like for example, problem-based learning or project-based learning, one of my best project-based learning is my student did the one that recycle. They use the old tower with the cement and they create a very, very beautiful and valuable vase. So for that one, I sent my PBL, the PL project, and I won the first place. Beside that, my student also did one problem-based learning. The title is about the plastic waste problem. Okay, so this one they run in a group, and I give them a duration about 1 month to run this program. So after that, I'm unfortunately very, very happy. 4 of the project that are quite presentable, so I send them for the international, organized by British international competitions, the STEM competitions, and it comes out very, very good result. 3 of my students, 3 teams won the international awards. And beside that, in my country, students also use the project-based learning that conducted in the class to join the innovations competitions. Beside that, although maybe some teachers say that the activities in the remote teaching were not 100% as good as physical learning, but to me, this activity can be run as well as when teacher really put an effort and student also follow the instruction by the teachers. And it's better than, people say that bad taste is better than no taste, right? So this is to in line with the SDG 4 so that we can promote lifelong learning. Beside that, as I said just now, the education should be available, accessible, and also acceptable and adaptable. For example, like maybe we see our friends share their teaching methods, maybe we can adapt their method and change it accordingly to our skills and our students' availability. Beside that, actually in the remote teaching also we can embark 4C. The communication, the collaborative, creativity, critical thinking. Yeah, for example, for my classes, and also we run a lot of program. We try to take choose our student, become the young chemist, become the moderator. We train them to become a future leader, and we give them opportunity to run a program. Okay, beside that, pupils should, to me, student, yeah, or our learner should learn continuously, then the teacher should deepen online teaching as well as the digitalizations. So I would like to conclude my sharing. So I say that the education allows many other suitable SDG goals to be achieved. Teacher training also should be continuous through professional development or the professional learning community. Teachers should also dare to try new methods and get out of the comfort zone. Together, we bring learning to our students. If we teach today's students as we taught yesterday, we will rob them of tomorrow. Thank you. So I would like to thank all the participants and also the IIU for giving me this great opportunity to share my talk. Sharing is caring.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Lee, to share your valuable insights. You have actually unlocked the areas of quality education, and especially by focusing upon experiential learning with the help of your projects and learning. Big virtual applause for your great speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This, our next speaker of the day, Ms. Sangeeta Dhamija, yes, from India. She's MA, BEd, Principal Millennium World School. Dedicated educationist, children are the prime focus for all her efforts in her work. She sincerely believed that real education lies way beyond books. Yes, I do, dear. Recently, she have authored a series of social science books by classes 5th to 8th for Meghalaya board and which are currently in use by the board. She have received the awards of the best facilitator both in Heritage School and the Millennium School. She have attended various workshops and training sessions conducted by CBSE, NCERT, and training sessions on safety and security of schools by EduCom. She have also attended the inaugural course in management of schools conducted by IIT and Edu Carnival, hosted by Department of Management Studies at IIT. She was a member of the delegation to Australia, hosted by University of Melbourne in the summer 2002. With her rich experience in research and different other areas, multifaceted personality and qualities, I would like to introduce, show to lead the school community with vision and dedication. I would like to invite her on the stage to share her experience and her valuable insights related to quality in education with SDG 4. The stage is all yours, dear.
Good evening from India, dear organizers, dignitaries, and participants from all over the world. I am privileged to be part of the conference to present my views on quality education. I am sure everybody agrees that education liberates the intellect, unlocks the imagination, and is fundamental for self-respect. It is the key to prosperity and opens a world of opportunities, making it possible for each one of us to contribute to a progressive, healthy society. Access to quality education is a prerequisite to the quality of life, social transformation, innovation, sound value system, and to build high human capital. For these goals to be achieved, everyone needs to do their part, most certainly the educators and the schools. In India, significant progress has been made in universalizing primary education, with improvement in the enrollment and completion rates of girls in both primary and elementary school. The net enrollment ratio in primary education for boys and girls was at 100%, while at the national level, the youth literacy rate was 94% for males and 92% for females. The new education policy and Sustainable Development Goal 4 share the goals of universal quality education and lifelong learning. The flagship government scheme, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, is aimed at achieving universal quality education for all Indians and is complemented in this effort by targeted schemes on nutritional support, higher education, and teacher training. More than half of the children and adolescents worldwide are not meeting minimum proficiency standards in reading and writing and in mathematics. In 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic spread across the globe, a majority of countries announced a temporary closure of schools, impacting more than 91% of the students worldwide. By April 2020, close to 1.6 million children and youth were out of school, and nearly 369 million children who rely on school meals needed to look to other sources for daily nutrition. Never before have so many children been out of school at the same time, disrupting learning and upending lives, especially the most vulnerable and marginalized. The global pandemic has far-reaching consequences, and we need to ensure that these children are not left behind, and we need to improve the global education. Together, we can ensure inclusive and equitable quality. Beyond just teaching academics, I believe that schools can foster students' development in their relationships, identity, emotional skills, and overall well-being. Currently, our education system focuses on a very narrow sliver of children's cognitive development, with an emphasis on transmitting content knowledge, often to be memorized and repeated in the same form as it is received. Lessons in math, science, and reading, tests in those skills dominate the curriculum. While those subjects are fundamental, learning involves far more than merely acquiring inert knowledge in algebra or chemistry. Such a narrow focus gives short shrift to the ways that children need to grow and learn in their relationships, identity, emotional understanding, and overall well-being. After all, children are multidimensional, whole beings. Those development is complex and rich. We need to ensure that we foster a supportive environment that promotes strong relationships among staff, students, and families. We need to implement meaningful, engaging instructional practices that develop students' ability to manage their own learning. We need to develop habits, skills, and mindsets that build students' social, emotional, and academic competence. We need to create an integrated system of school supports that includes extended learning opportunities and community partnerships. These kind of support reflect a whole school approach to the whole child development that maximizes opportunities for all children to succeed. Combine these all ingredients, which are essential parts of a comprehensive framework, in practice, builds on and reinforces each other. A wealth of research demonstrates that successful education cannot happen in a piecemeal fashion. Talking about integrated approach, it can really help children with all their complexity and humanity to develop to its full potential. Last but not the least, the government must put in some ambitious efforts, reforms aimed at targeting the learning of the most disadvantaged. Only if they implement the concrete steps, we will have any chance of achieving the real progress towards leaving no one behind by 2030. Thank you so much for giving me this platform to express my views. Thank you, IIU, Nada, Prachi, Piyush, for having me here.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Dea, first of all, and with the spectacular information on the different areas which are actually required for education in this today's world. So with a big round of applause and a virtual clap from all of us. Now, there's always that one person who has the vision, the thought, the idea, the concept behind a successful venture and the organization. And if we talk about the man behind the success of the IIU University, yes, it's our beloved co-founder of the IIU, Mr. Piyush Pandit. And I mean, any words would be less for him. Thus, I'm sharing a short video to give all of us an insight into his journey and his life, which will give us insights at how actually this came into existence. The II University, which we all have been, which have actually give us the reason to be gathered here. So here you all go.
Piyush Pandit was born on 27th July 1987 in Pratapgarh, Uttar Pradesh, in a middle-class family. Piyush Pandit is that name who's recognized by his multiple work genres, an international social activist, award-winning social worker, serial entrepreneur, and founder of SBP Global. He has determined his destiny by having trust in him and Almighty God. Piyush Pandit is a diligent and passionate social worker committed to serve the humanity. Piyush Pandit has played a crucial role in crafting a team of volunteers and achieved global recognition as head of Swarna Bharat Parivar Trust, which span across more than 50 countries. He granted several live interviews and press conferences on rural development, access to justice, and the right to equality. Piyush is youth leader with extensive social work experience, political activism, and stellar entrepreneurial achievements. When you think of social work and changing the world by improving human experiences, Piyush Pandit comes to mind. He is proactively mentoring other social activists to encourage social activism and entrepreneurship around the world. He is working fiercely towards achieving United Nations sustainable goals in India and over the globe. Under the flawless leadership of Piyush Pandit, Swarna Bharat Parivar Trust was established. The organization strives to place the humanity at forefront and bringing back the human warmth which has lost due to busy modern life. They are fighting to ensure ending poverty, unemployment, and making society better for all. Rural India has been a focal point of Piyush, which gave birth to Help India Health Foundation. The social work continues and the e-village was established in 2012 to reinforce India's roots in villages and villagers. At the crux of Piyush's work is the youth. He believes that youth empowerment is closely aligned with social service. Piyush is the CEO of Piyush Group. The organization covers several industries, including renewable energy, logistics, real estate, and so on. Piyush Pandit has succeeded in scaling the growth of these organizations, and his work has taken them to the multinational level. Piyush is able to form and sustain positive relationship with people. He has received a plethora of awards and recognitions in 2018 with India's Great Leader Award, India Star Book of Records in 2019, GTF World Summit Bangkok 2019, Volunteer Hero, Avadh Samman Samaroh, Blood Donation Award, Environmental Sentinel Award, Yuva Gaurav Samman, and Literature Confluence Award. Piyush Pandit believes in the philosophy of growing together. His slogan is, "Let's grow together and create tomorrow's entrepreneur." He has the vision to create a society that is based on freedom, equality, solidarity, diversity, and fairness.
Isn't it great? The great personality we all came across. And that's the reason, as I said, we all are actually gathered here with his vision, mission, and that's how IIU actually came into its existence. Anytime, anywhere, the world is much smaller place, yes. With this, moving further, I would like to invite my next speaker of the day. Before that, I would request all the speakers to please be there in their confined time, 3 to 5 minutes, so that we'll be able to give opportunity to all our speakers, please. Time is actually very, very important for all of us. So, Dr. Vaishali Tripathi from India. She's PhD microbiology, educator, subject matter expert, author, Check India Private Limited. She's PhD in microbiology research. She has written a number of research papers, articles, co-author with a number of books as well. With many organizations and bagged many awards in her kitty. She's positive and she's a very hard-working woman. So, Dr. Tripathi, I would like to invite you on this stage to share all your insights with the entire, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prachi. You have been a wonderful host from last 2.5 hours. It's really commendable. Please permit me to share my screen, if you can please allow.
Yes, dear. Yeah.
Do let me know if it's visible.
It is visible, dear.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So today we have gathered here for discussing about the quality education, that is SDG goal number 4. So what is quality education, or what is education? Well, education is the passport for your future. And not quantity, but quality of the knowledge is important. You can know much, but might not know necessary. So what are the aims of SDG goal, quality education in context to India? Well, for India, all girls and boys should complete free, equitable and quality primary and secondary education. Equal access for men and women to all affordable technical, vocational, tertiary education till university levels. To remove gender disparities in education and ensure equal access to knowledge at all levels, and to empower teachers so that they can create better future and help in bringing quality education. So what is the role of our government in bringing quality education? So first scheme that is launched for quality education is Samagra Shiksha scheme. It was launched in 2018. And it is an integrated scheme for school education covering entire preschool to class 12 schooling. It aims to deliver inclusive, equitable and affordable school education. It is further divided into 3 schemes, that is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan and the teacher education. 1.16 million schools, 156 million students and 5.7 million teachers of government and aided schools are involved in this school, scheme. Child-centric interventions will be provided directly to the students through DBT or RTE, that is Right to Education. Indian languages will be included with pre-primary education at government schools. Support for activities of PARAG, a national assessment center, that is performance assessment, review and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. Sports grants, bagless days, internship with local artisans and provision to support out of school children from age 16 to 19 is also included in this scheme. The next scheme is Right of Child to Free and Compulsory Education Act, that is 2009. Free and compulsory education for children at the age of 6 to 14 years is being included in this. No child shall be held back, expelled or required to pass a board examination until the completion of elementary education. National Program for Education for Girls at Elementary Level. This is also another scheme which government has implemented. It is to motive so that all the backward blocks and all the girls who need to be, who are not able to join school can join through this scheme. Sukanya scheme and Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Abhiyan is also there, where educating a girl child and then the expenses for her marriage have been bared. Adult education and skill development schemes are also given by the government, where many people are there who are not able to complete their primary education or secondary education, so they can go for the night schools and complete their education. So adult education is also being provided. And schemes for providing quality education for madrasas is also being implemented by the government. Now, what is the ground reality? So ground reality is that world have a lot of knowledge, but not all can benefit from it. 1 in 5 children, adolescent or youth are out of the school, including 64 million children of primary school age children, 61 million of lower secondary school, and 138 million of upper secondary age. School infrastructures in rural areas is still questionable. Teacher quality need to be improved. Study material need reinvention as it's going on and on since our childhood, and same textbooks and same syllabus is being followed. Non-teaching staff also need upgradations. Gender bias systems should be removed, because now also parents prefer boys to go to the school instead of girls. If you go to villages, you will find this scenario everywhere. Quantity should not matter, quality does impact. So we should not see how many students are there in the class, but we should matter what quality of education we are providing them. Rote learning should be changed, because mugging up is not important. What important is that how the child is skill based. Shortage of funds for the school as well as teaching and non-teaching staff also creates a lot of problems for quality education. Now, how can you provide the solutions? We can share knowledge as much as possible. We can make campaigns to make people which are living in rural areas understand the importance of education for all. Nukkad nataks, flyers, TV shows, and radio campaigning can also be a great help. And teachers need to be trained in every ways. Pay scales to be increased for both teaching and non-teaching staff, as it will make teachers more focused on quality. Some families get bread from only earners, and somewhere there are children who are earning for their families. So such families should be educated about their child's future. Equal importance to all the subjects should be given. Evaluation should be developed. More knowledge of technology and provide tools so that education can reach villages as well. And teach students about the purpose of education. This will make the quality of education more enhanced. And last, I would say that education is not about learning facts, but training the mind to think. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dea, for your valuable insight. And as you said, actually very well mentioned by you, that education is the passport for one's future. As education actually approaches one's approach to meet current needs and the capabilities. So a big round of applause for this. Now with this, I would like to invite my next speaker of the day, Ms. Sujata Harimohan from India. She is MSc, B.Ed, MPhil, PhD scholar. She is Vice Principal, Exceller English School, working as an educator for last 20 years. She is also a founder of a learning forum, CREST, to empower educators and underprivileged students. CBSE resource person, educational ambassador of International Institute of Influencers. A very, very warm welcome there. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Hope I'm audible to you.
Yes, you are loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay, Nada ma'am and all respected dignitaries, let me express my sincere gratitude for giving me a chance to be here as a speaker. Now, as I already heard from, the moderator saying that I'm having 20 years of experience. From my experience, I would like to share a few things here based on SDG goal number 4. We talk about competency. We always talk about skills, especially thinking skills, critical thinking skills, creativity, and everything. But there is much more than all these skills that I believe. It is value. Humanization of education is something that must be given more importance than all these skills and experiential learning. Of course, we can make a scientist, but if the same person is not able to respect a lady, if the same person is not able to respect a girl child, the same person who is highly educated, taking guns and fighting, towards or shooting against people who are really innocent, is that education? World is facing a lot of issues now. And all the people who carry guns in their hands, to be frank, they're educated people. Then where is the quality of education? So basically, I believe the quality of education must be a value incorporated education. When you look people around us, there are 4 types of people you can see. One with high skills and high values. One with high skills and low values. One the low skills and high values, another one with low skills and low values. So 4 quadrants are there. And actually education must main, the main, what I say is the main focus should be on high skills and high values. But the problem is what we have now in our hands are the one with high skills but low values. That is the dangerous part. See, the people are of low skills and low values. We can train them. The skill parts we can of course train. But if they are skillful people, but the values are less, that is going to be a dangerous situation. So as educators, there are several educators here. As educators, what can we do to improve the value part? Okay, especially the category that I told you with high skills but low value. So they will use the skill for something else. It may destroy the whole world. Our aim is sustainable education. So let the education believe in, not in standard of living, but in standard of life. I'm again repeating, let the quality of education believe in standard of life, but not in standard of living. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sujata ma'am, for your valuable insights. And since we have very less time left, well, there are few speakers who are actually waiting for us. So I would like to introduce the next speaker. It's been waiting since long, Ms. Kaisar Patel, I guess. Yeah, Kaisar Patel. So before that, I would like to introduce her. She is MA, B.Ed, Principal, Ma Anandmai Memorial School, a change maker on education. She is a national award winner, motivational speaker, determined worker who believes in delivering results. A very, very warm welcome, dear. The stage is all yours. Ms. Patel, you there? Ms. Patel?
Maybe she lose connection now. She is not here.
All right. So
we will call her back.
We'll move forward with our next speaker, Ms. Alka Singh from India. She's Masters in Economics and Master in Education, Masters in Education. She is Principal, Bluebells Model School, Secondary for Gurugram, India, serving as the esteemed school principal of Bluebell School, and she's at the helm of the institution, who is the overall in charge of academic excellence and complete student development. She has a vast experience of 31 years in the field of education and has served in a few of the most prestigious educational institutions of the country. A gold medalist in PG Economics, she has a clear vision and attitude which creates an open environment where parents, teachers, and students feel a part of the school community. She has always guided her team of brilliant teachers to provide students with cutting-edge technology and a strong foundation in life skills. Wow, a great personality, a very, very warm welcome, ma'am. The stage is all yours, please. Alka, ma'am. Alka, ma'am, you there?
I don't see her, but she was here.
I actually saw, I think it's probably less connectivity.
Let's go to the further, so we'll call her again.
So the next speaker of the day are Suryakanta, again from India, BCheck chairman, Indian human rights defender. She is from Suryakanta from Odisha, India, and she's the chairman person of Indian Human Rights Defender. A very warm welcome, sir. The stage is all yours. Suryakanta?
No. No, Dr. Prachi.
Moving further with the next speaker, Mr. Devendra Narayan. Just check. I actually don't see him as well. Mr. Devendra Narayan from India. So you there? In case if I missed any one of you, please raise your hands, or you can pop that on the chat box so that I can introduce you and we can start. So I'll just repeat the names. Mr. Devendra Narayan from India, Mr. Sarbari Datta from India, Mr. R. Suryakanta from India, Ms. Shalini Namber from India, Ms. Alka Singh from India, Ms. Ona Maria Streeter from Romania. She's teacher, technological Felix High School, kindergarten teacher with 4 years of experience. She's PhD in psychology, currently doing master's degree in education psychology. Ms. Ona Maria, you there?
No.
All right. So I believe it's, yeah. So I can see Devendra Narayan sir here. Just received the message. All right. So next speaker. With the less connectivity, now he's able to join us. Mr. Devendra Narayan from India. He's postgraduate, Director Corporate Relations, Shobit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, and Shobit University, Uttar Pradesh. Devendra Narayan is Director Corporate Relations at Shobit University and co-chair ASSOCHAM, Open Education Development Council. He is a founder member of STEP Student Transition and the Empowerment Program, an initiative by Shobit University to guide and help school students in planning their career path. He is motivator, trainer, and counselor with leading multinational training company, GoTrain. He's a visiting counselor with the Institute of Counselors Training Research and Consulting, ICTRC, member, India Education Network, New Delhi, associated with Fire Foundation and an NGO who provides training and counseling to underprivileged. Co-chair, ASSO CHAM Jharkhand Education Development Council. He is awarded by the Center of Education Growth and Research, New Delhi, for his contribution in education. He is awarded by the Indian Education Network, New Delhi, for his contribution for industry academic interface. A very, very warm welcome, sir. The stage is all yours, please.
Thank you very much. Greetings for everybody, because it is a different time zone for most of the people. So my namaskar to everybody from India. Today I'm honored to be part of this wonderful initiative. And before I start, I really congratulate the organizer of this event to organize this event where they're able to invite, I think, more than 1,000 educators from different parts of the world. We are talking about Sustainable Development 4, that is basically education. And according to me, education is very important for development. In fact, my firm belief is that it's not only for the sustainable development, but the education is required for the world peace, because education empowers people with the knowledge, skill, and value to live with the dignity, build lives and contribute to the society. But for me to understand education and sustainable development, we must understand the difference between the literacy and education. Because commonly, many times, people use this terminology as one. Why I'm saying so? Because literacy basically is the ability to read and write, whereas the education refers to the acquisition of knowledge. And it is not only about the acquisition of knowledge, it is beyond that. Because education talks about the holistic development of individuals. And that holistic development includes the health and well-being. It includes the gender equality. It includes the right for a decent work. So for me, education is beyond that. Education is a very vast word. And we should feel happy and appreciate. In fact, many speakers talk about this also, that the new education policy in India brings our education system one step closer to the sustainable development through education. Why I say, and I always talk about this, that we need to understand, if we want to understand the education, we need to differentiate between literacy and education, because it is not necessary an educated person being gone for a formal education. It is not necessary that educated, because he can acquire knowledge from environment, he can acquire knowledge from the society, he can acquire knowledge from anywhere. So for me, an individual is developed one in true sense he or she is educated. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk about such an important topic today on this forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable insights. With this, yes, it's time to conclude our session today. Before that, one important thing, what actually education is, or what actually education stands for. So education, E, energy, D, discipline, U, unity, C, confidence, A, aim, T, talent, I, interest, O, opportunity, and N, last but not the least, nationality. Yes, it's like the way with IIU, 195 countries, 6 different regions. Definitely, the world has become much smaller place when we talk about education with different nationals, with different areas, with different regions. Definitely, but education for all is equal and should be accessible. Definitely. So with this, Quality education is for everyone, wherever, whenever we would reach or we are looking for it. It should be easily accessible with one mission and one vision IIU is actually working towards. So with this, I would like to conclude this session.
Dr. Prachi, we have our co-founder wants to tell few words, the vote of thanks also. Mrs. Satnam?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Nada. Thank you, Dr. Prachi. My whole idea of just trying to, address everyone is to thank them and to motivate them and just share what I've been learning from it, and so I don't want to just close the session without having to just interact with everyone that wait a second, we've been a part of it, we've enjoyed the session, we've learned so much out of it, and we are so appreciative of everyone's time, their efforts, their abilities, whatever they're bringing in to make it a success, we are here. So thank you very much, Prachi. It was wonderful. Nada, as always, you're leading the session. You are doing a tremendously beautiful job. All our eminent speakers, they were fabulous. This is so much to learn from them. And especially, our co-founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, our trustee, Roshni Lalji, Mona, Stephen, Jack. We're all very, very, very grateful, and especially thank you to everyone that's making this such a success. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Satnam. Indeed, we have witnessed some new ideas, techniques, and ventures about the 4th SDG, and we all have learned so much in today's conference. So finally, I would like to invite Ms. Rabia Bhatia to take the stage for the vote of thanks, please. Ms. Rabia?
Hello, good evening, ma'am. May I speak?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a good evening, one and all. My name is Amujuri Vishwanath, educationist from Dantewada, Chhattisgarh. I'm also honorary professor at International Internship University. Here today, so many speakers and distinguished eminent educationists presented their views on quality education. So I want to ask one question regarding quality of education. So what are the methods or process to improve our quality in education at grassroots level, which will available to educational facilities to all the children?
Can I take that?
What are the process? That means are the methods that which can be implemented in grassroots level. Why? Because everything is going on at a higher level for improvement of the quality education. But how can we improve that quality in education at grassroots level that is available for all the children, not only in India, but also across the globe?
I would request our co-founder, Dr. Satnam, to take this question, please.
I'll tell you why, Prachi, I chose this
And anyone
opportunity. I'll tell you why, especially at IIU, this SGD for quality education. This is so close to our heart, isn't it? This is what we're doing, isn't it? Day in, day out, what are we trying to do? Trying to spread a nominal way of availing and, getting this opportunity to take this education methods, all over the world. Okay, so what I'm saying is when you say, how do you do it? How do you take education to grassroots level? How do you make it accessible, available to people at grassroots levels? This is what people like you and me do. People like each one of us does. We join onto platforms like this, where we put, practical steps to bring education, the best possible education on that level that it can be made available. Through people like us, through people like yourself, you're taking the initiative. Like you yourself said, I've joined as an honorary teacher, as an honorary professor, right? So this is what we want. We request everyone to join us join us. Why we say join us? Because we're also trying to create a bigger and better platform where people can join, they can learn, they can grow. Okay, so we can spread this mission, so we can spread this education and make it actually affordable and make it accessible and make it available to every child in the world, to every individual in the world at a very, very nominal price. And I think what our co-founder has a name, Mr. Pandit, he wants quality education made available free of cost as well. So I think already we have a lot of courses on our platform, which we are serving free of cost. And day in, day out, I think we'll strive to bring more and more free of cost education available. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful answering. Thank you very much.
Amurjo, we are waiting your speech for tomorrow. So we want to know, yes, we want to know what would you tell us tomorrow about education? I'm really looking forward to tomorrow to hear you, because you are very active all these days of our conference. You are always asking, you're always speaking, and that is really great. And I think that you are a wonderful professor. So tomorrow we are waiting you.
Sure, definitely, ma'am. I will present as per my knowledge. Definitely, I will contribute on this session.
Okay. Is anybody here that would like to maybe ask some questions? Is anybody of our speakers who Dr. Prachi came here today? Because tomorrow is a new session. Tomorrow we have too many speakers and we don't have time. Please.
Nada, can I please say something?
Yes, of course.
Well, I want to pay my heartiest gratitude to Prachi ma'am, to you and Dr. Rabia for giving a wonderful opportunity to speak on this forum. And thank you, Piyush sir, for creating IIU, because you're doing wonderful job. And it's really amazing to see the different types of events that you're coming up with, and hope that India will have something different in the coming year. And we all will be connected in villages also. And those students who are not able to get quality education in rural areas will get benefit from IIU. So all the best for the events that you will be coming up. So thank you so much for giving me a chance to speak on this platform.
Yes, Dr. Vaishali, you see that we are coming all around the world to IIU. You see, where is Croatia and where is India? Yes, IIU has something special that nobody don't have.
Thank you so much, Nada. Thank you so much, everyone. And
thank you so much.
With this, I would like to conclude the session. So, Honorable Trustee, Ms. Roshni Lal ma'am, co-founders, Dr. Piyush Pandit, Mr. Stephen.
Can I make a contribution?
Ms. Nada Nabil and Ms. Mona Angia, the President International of Advisory Council, Dr. Pratibha Mishra, respected Chief Guest, Mrs. Kaur, Dr. Pareen Somani, all the other members and the stakeholders and speakers, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of the International Internship University and the entire team of IIU, let me call it fraternity of educationists here, together, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the participants, to all the members, to all the stakeholders who have shared their unique ideas and work. I also wish to express my gratitude to Dr. Piyush Pandit for providing encouragement and this grand level of ISDG, the Sustainable Development Event. Further, we are grateful to our members, the speakers who have joined all across the globe for demonstrating, for sharing their great ideas. With this, I would also like to thank our committee of ISDG who've been working sleepless nights, been giving their 100% and working so hard to give with this excellent energy for this event, for this conference. So we are all inspired with the words of all the speakers. So I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to entire IIU team for the perfect support and guidance they have extended to all of us at the virtual ISDG conference here with Sustainable Development Goal 4, quality education. Well, actually, to be very honest, the co-founders, ladies and gentlemen, and even like this actually cannot happen overnight. The wheels actually start rolling ages ago, and the bird's eye for details. We have fortunate enough to be backed a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues of IIU University who knows their job, they are result oriented, they're all dedicated and working so hard for this conference. I actually cannot thank enough everyone for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone to reach up to this level today. And so thus we all could gather here among all across the globe. And finally, I would like to extend my gratitude to the people who are actually responsible for this invitation, technical arrangements, and all the people who we may have forgotten to extend our gratitude. I'm so sorry if I've actually excluded anyone, but would like to thank from the bottom of my heart to every single individual who has actually be a part of this conference today. Mr. Piyush Pandit, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to state that we are all most grateful to all present here today. We thank you for being with us with this afternoon, morning, evening, or night. It's been a great pleasure. From the bottom of my heart, once again, I would like to thank to all of you to be a part of this conference with this. Thank you so much. We'll be meeting once again with the next agenda, with the next point to discuss and to reach out to solve the problems. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.